Your feet are bare, and the sand is hot enough to blister them. You are 4 hours behind the same antelope, and it is faster than you, it is stronger, and in an hour it will still be both. Every part of this looks like a hunt you are losing. By tonight the antelope will be dead, and not because you outran it. So how do you kill an animal that beats you at everything? Let's be honest about the equipment. You have no claws. Nothing on your hand will open skin. No fangs. Your teeth are for chewing, and they're not especially good at that either. Your top speed is a joke out here. A healthy antelope can leave you standing. Not in your best year. Not with a running start. You can't see in the dark. You can't follow a scent. You have no venom, no shell, and nothing you could call an ambush. You are pink and loud and slow, and you are standing in the open, at midday, in full view of everything that would happily eat you. Every weapon a predator is issued at birth, you were denied, and you still ate. For roughly 2 million years, that word is the thing nobody can explain by looking at your teeth. So look at the antelope instead. Specifically, look at how it breathes. An antelope cools itself by panting, short, fast, shallow breaths across the wet surfaces of the mouth and throat. Water evaporates, heat leaves, the animal survives the afternoon. It's a good system. It's a good system when the animal is standing still. Now watch what a gallop does to it. In a four-legged animal at full speed, the breath gets locked to the stride. The organs slide forward and back inside the body with every bound, slamming against the diaphragm like a piston. The animal ends up taking roughly 1 breath per stride. It cannot choose to breathe faster. The legs have already decided. So the harder it runs, the less it can pant. And the less it pants, the hotter it gets. Now look at yourself. You are covered nearly everywhere, across nearly every patch of skin you own, in sweat glands, somewhere between 2 and 4 million of them. You don't have to stop to use them. You don't have to breathe in any particular rhythm. You leak, the air takes the heat off you, and you keep going. The antelope carries one cooling system, and it shuts down when it runs. You carry one cooling system, and it works best when you do. Our ancestors found the one race an antelope cannot finish. In 2025, a team led by Martin Hora published something that had never really been done, an actual persistence hunt, measured, in the Journal of Human Evolution. They went to Namibe in southwestern Angola, and they put numbers on the thing. The hunter finishes the chase under 39 degrees Celsius. That's a rough afternoon. It's survivable. The oryx hits 44, about 111 Fahrenheit. 44 is where the machinery starts to fail. Now, someone is already typing that the oryx is famous for handling heat. And they're right. It has a carotid rete, a fine mesh of blood vessels that cools the blood on its way to the brain. One of the best water-saving devices out there. But the field research on free-living oryx says that system is not the armor people think it is. Evidence suggests it does its work at rest, under moderate heat. Its real job is conserving water. And when the animal is sprinting and drying out at the same time, the rete stays out of it. There's something almost cruel in what happens instead. The whole point of that machinery is to hoard water, to sweat as little as possible, to give away as little as possible. Because in a desert, water is the account you cannot overdraw. But when the heat starts turning lethal, survival stops caring about the budget. The animal gives up the saving and starts spending. It dumps the water it spent its entire life protecting. Staying alive in the next 10 minutes now matters more than staying alive next week. You made it spend everything. Let me be precise about what happens next, because this is where the story usually gets told badly. The heat stops the antelope. It slows. Then it staggers. Then it stands there in the sun, mouth hanging open, legs locked underneath it, and it does not run anymore. And then a man walks up to it, with a spear. The heat does the work, the spear finishes it. You outcool it. That is the entire weapon. Except sweat alone doesn't carry you across 50 kilometers of thorn bush. In 2004, Dennis Bramble and Daniel Lieberman published a paper in Nature that irritated a lot of people. Their claim was that endurance running is a capacity in its own right, a thing the body was reshaped around, and that it shows up with the genus Homo about 2 million years ago. So let's take the machine apart. Reach up and put your fingers at the back of your neck, at the base of your skull. There's a band of tissue running down there called the nuchal ligament. Chimpanzees don't have one, and neither do gorillas. You do. Its only real job is to keep your head steady while the rest of your body pounds the ground. They worked that out in part by putting a pig on a treadmill. Pigs have no nuchal ligament. A running pig's head bobs around like a loose bolt. Now your heel. The Achilles tendon is a spring. Every stride at a run it stretches, holds the energy for a fraction of a second, and hands some of it back. It reduces the cost of running. Nothing in a body is free, but it makes running cheaper than it has any right to be. The arch of your foot does the same trick, on a smaller scale. Your gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle you own. Researchers count it as part of the running system, though how much of it is a running adaptation specifically is still argued. And then the skin, between 2 and 4 million small holes, waiting. Every one of us is carrying this. It's standard issue. You got it whether you wanted it or not. Springs are expensive. Evolution only pays for them when something runs. But did this happen often enough to build a body? Fair question, and the honest answer is rarely. In 2024, Eugene Morin and Bruce Winterhalter went through more than 8,000 documents. They pulled out 391 accounts of humans running animals into the ground, 272 locations, scattered across the inhabited world. Which sounds like a lot. It isn't. Kara Wall-Scheffler read the same data and was not convinced. Her argument is short. Selection acts every single day, everywhere, and this was never an everyday thing. By one count, endurance running turns up in around 2% of the accounts the researchers went through. 2% is a thin foundation to build a species on. Travis Pickering and Henry Bunn pushed harder back in 2007. Maybe all this endurance had a completely different job, they argued. Getting to a carcass first. Beating the hyenas to something already dead. Less heroic, possibly true. Lieberman and his colleagues have an answer, and it's a good one. They call it the tyranny of ethnography. What we can actually watch today is a handful of groups pushed onto the worst land on the planet, hunting in a century where there's a rifle in the next village. Whatever was ordinary 2 million years ago was never going to survive into that sample. So, this is the leading theory. It is not a settled one. And anyone who tells you it's proven is selling you something. I'd rather you heard that from me than from the comments. While we're being honest, this was never the everyday way to get meat. It was a specialist's move. The right tool, on the right day, for the right animal. The argument is still open. The anatomy is not. Anyway, back to the body. Here's the measured version, what it actually costs. 6 pursuits, 3 days, 49.5 kilometers of ground across 7 hours and 48 minutes of chasing. 31%. That's how much of it you spend actually running. Most of the chase is walking and tracking, kneeling in the dirt, reading a scuff in the sand, guessing where an animal that cannot see you has decided to go. It's a slow, patient act of reading, and it's most of the work. 5,024 calories over a single day. That's 2 full days of eating spent chasing one animal. 11.4 liters of water, carried and rationed and drunk on the move. Which sounds like a lot of water until you remember what it's for. You are cooling a body that will not stop making heat in a place that will not stop adding it. And still, somehow, you finish under the line where the body starts to fail. Barely, but under it. And it pays. The same study ran the numbers on what the hunt gives back. Somewhere between roughly 1,900 and 3,700 calories of food for every hour a man is out there. That beats the return rate of almost every hunter-gatherer economy we have on record. Across those 3 days, the hunts brought back enough net energy to cover the daily needs of 50 adults. And you do all this in the hottest part of the day, deliberately. You're using the heat. That's why you picked the hour. The rhythm goes, track, push, let it bolt, walk. Find it again, push again. Every time that animal panics and runs, it burns heat it has no way to shed. And it does it a little sooner and a little worse than the time before. It looks like a race. It runs on a deadline. Reach up and touch the back of your neck again. The ligament is there, right now, doing nothing. The spring is sitting in your heel, right now. 2 to 4 million glands are open across your skin, in this room, in this second, holding a line against a heat that isn't coming. Somewhere tonight, someone is going to lace up a pair of shoes and run down a street for no reason at all. No antelope, no meat, nothing at the end of it, just a person breathing hard under a streetlight, going nowhere in particular. They have no idea what they're switching on. You will probably never chase anything. The machine doesn't care. It's still in there, fully assembled, waiting for a heat it will never be given. Somewhere in this video, I gave you the exact temperature at which the antelope's body turns on itself. Not yours, the antelope's. Drop that number and the timestamp in the comments. I'll pick one of you. Every paper is in the description, including the 2 that argue the whole idea is wrong.